Hey everybody, this is Joe. I'm here in my Houston garden and I'm in zone 9A/B and it's the 1st of February and I thought I would give you a look at just my succulent pots. Everything else we had to freeze about 2 weeks ago, and so I took all the flower pots in, put them in the garage, and they're still sort of out there. And I have a bunch. If they were succulents, oh, Miss Doubtfire, hello. If they were succulents, I put them in the kitchen, and that's the kitchen door. So we've left, there's 2 more. The last average frost date for Houston is February 15th. And so, which a couple of years ago, we had a terrible freeze after that frost date. But just in case, I have left all of these things here instead of putting them sort of where they live, out in the garden, so that I can get them back in the kitchen if need be. But I thought I would show you, some of them they're really looking pretty and they're getting ready to bloom. And also you can see, I just talked about this in another video, the mess, right, that I have in the gravel. I'm thinking about this as a pocket prairie for the spring because it's got native Texas bluebonnets, it's got a little larkspur, it's got something called cudweed, way too much of that. And I've thrown some other things in here. I'm hoping this will be like a little prairie just amongst the flower pots for the spring. And then I'll clean it up and have a nice tidy walkway the rest of the time. But of course I've got tons of wildflowers along here and wildflowers all along the edge, sort of by Mrs. Doubtfire down this way. And so I love it when it's full of wildflowers. I also love it when it's really tidy and there are no weeds at all. And so I kind of go between the two, and then there's messy where it's too hot and I don't mess with it. So let me show you the succulent theater. I'm going to show you the things up here first that don't actually live in the succulent theater. They live elsewhere in the yard, but are here for a couple more weeks. I love the strawberry pot. And then that's a calancho, and they're all getting ready to bloom. This calancho, that's the first one. And then I'm trying to do something more interesting. This stuff is so prolific. This ghost plant is so prolific. I've put some more little cuttings in. And then I have so many, I can't pass up a calancho. And my mother passed down a bunch of them to me, and then I also can't pass them up in the store. And so you can see this calancho is getting ready to bloom really beautifully. More calanchos. And then I don't know the name of this. It's like a jade plant, but little. And it kind of has a weeping manner to it. And I think it looks nice. It usually lives on that bench over there. And so I like that it hangs down and is really pretty. Here's another one of my favorites. Some of them, it's nice, they really bloom. This is the ghost plant, but then I've got a couple of little things mixed in, and there, one of them is blooming. And then this, so scruffy. It needs work. And then, of course, another gigantic calancho. Look, it's incredible. So many flower spikes. And I've got jade plant. I bought this one in the fall. My daughter was like, wow, Mom, that one looks amazing. And I was like, I just bought it. That's not my work. That is some professional grower's work. That's why it's so perfect. And I love the pot it's in. Look at this cool pot. All green and mossy. I just love that pot. And then this, I was thinking about this earlier. This is an enormous jade plant that I've had. I bought at a garage sale maybe even 25 years ago. It broke, a whole bunch of it broke a couple of years ago, maybe just 2 years ago. So this whole pot is just the top. So imagine this chunk of jade was on top of that, and I just sat it in there and crossed my fingers, and it did take root. And so it's just such a pretty, and I love the shape of it, and that shape was really beautiful on the top of a big trunk, which it was such a bummer for that thing to break apart. And then I love this little pot again. Look at this cute pot. Oh my goodness, right? And all of its wonderful little business. And then this stuff I have, it's like it finally took hold, and now I have maybe almost too much of it. Oh, they've closed. I was going to show you these earlier. They've closed for the day. Little yellow flowers. But the thing about this sort of the small version of the jade plant, really all of it, is that you can just break it off. I just literally, these 3 little prongs right here, I just chopped off of that big one a couple months ago and just stuck them in the ground, stuck them in the pot, and they look great. And it's the same for this one right there, just cuttings off of that. And here I seem to be wandering past a lot of things. Let me go back here. So I've got wonderful, some of these aloes do so well in Houston. And then these with the little fuzzy leaves, they do really well. As long as you don't water them. I'm surprised these look so good after all the rain we've had. And then these big ones with the big paddle-shaped leaves do well for me. And then we had a real problem because the cats inside want to chew on that. So it was very tricky during the freeze. We had to put those way up high where the cats couldn't get to them. And then this, again, these are just cuttings. And then this thing is amazing. And it's getting ready to bloom. Look, it's gonna be orange. Isn't that fabulous? And then one of these broke off and it was all rotten on one end. And so I cut it in half and I thought, I wonder. And I just sat the cut piece down, and I don't know if you can tell I'm pulling on that. That rooted just from the middle. I thought they would only root from the edge, the sort of bottom node of the leaf, but that thing rooted from the middle of the leaf when I just cut it with a knife. And so we'll kind of see. I'll keep you updated and see if it actually turns into a plant and what happens. I love this with so many different colors. The gray with the pink edge, and then the sort of blue gray, and then this spiky business here with the little white on the edges, little white dots, and then this one here is one of those fuzzy ones. And then I've got my little overachiever, but I love having that, a little combination of shapes and colors. And even the way they grow, like this one hangs down. This one looks so ratty. I'm thinking that is either snails that did that, but it seems like maybe that took the brunt of the little hail that we had. Here's the pot that never looks good. It never, ever, ever, ever looks good. And so we're skipping it. I'm just gonna keep moving. Here is another chunk that broke off whilst we were moving things. I think that's where that came from, but I'm gonna pot that up later. Another incredible aloe that when it gets cold, it has a little bit of a pink maroon tip to it. And again, I just love putting different, oh goodness, pardon the airplane noise. I love putting different colors and shapes of leaf together, and I am very very drawn to the gray-green colors. But just to have those different shapes and then have a pop of that lime green, and then this one's getting ready to bloom. I think that's got to be a bloom spike. Another one that looks pretty pitiful. These look so great and then looked terrible, and now they seem to be coming back. They're the little fuzzy ones. Don't water them. They like to be really dry. And this, clearly, this is the little business that is very happy here because there's so much of it. Once it took off, it seems to be hard to get started in a pot, but once I get it started, then it kind of goes nuts. And you can see there's little places that I've got little violas. I put seeds in a lot of these pots. This was still, that wasn't the original trunk. That was just an arm of it. And so one branch. So it was so sad when that thing fell apart. And then this, they always have color, but look how incredible when it got chilly. They just do so well, and I love the combo of the inner blue-green and the outer maroon. I love that. Ghost plant in a tiny little another little strawberry pot, although it's so small I don't think you could really grow strawberries in it. And I do love this hanging down with a little jade plant and another little baby hiding in there. It's gotten a little covered up. And this combination, oh, look at that. I love this with this bright, and a dark green, and then it's getting ready. I don't remember what color this is. It's likely pink. Little calancho. And then of course, the giant aloe vera that if you saw an earlier video, you saw it blooming, but in the garage during the freeze. This massive bloom spike. And I'm trying to get some of the gray to grow underneath. And if I can get the gray to hang down all the way around, I think it'd be really cool. Well, that's my goal. And then I'll end on this. I love this pot, and the pot itself is such a funky pot. I love it, and it is mossy, but it's such a great shape, nicely decorated. And then it's got the giant petals, which I love. So pretty. The green, gray green, and then this little dude sitting in here. And I think this is so neat how it's coming up new babies down there. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little look at the succulents. And I will do in the spring when things are prettier, I will do a nice look at the pots, the rest of the pots. But right now, they're pretty scruffy. I hope you guys have a great beginning of February, and that you're able to get out and work in your garden. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.